grab my drink. What the hell is wrong with me? Alright, let's go. Got my drink when I didn't know I was gonna do this. I'm gonna stop by Walgreens real fast. I want to pick something up real fast.
Confirmed plate is specialty David, over David, Adam, Mary, Ocean King.
Alright, I'm gonna leave the camera going. I'll be right back. November 9, Romeo Mike Golf listening. Everybody had a safe and happy weekend. I'm trying to think of what I did besides work most of the day Saturday. To go get an oil change yesterday. Only $40. It's amazing. My wife went to my wife went to a local place around Pekin. She has an SUV, and it cost her $108 just for an oil change. $108 is a lot of money for an oil change. I said before in one of my videos, I really went off about Walmart and how I'll never do that again, and because I had a lot of trouble there with attitudes, basically. Whoa, there's a raccoon hanging on the side of that pole. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not.
Did I go 10-7 due to landing mileage? Yes, you did. Okay. I just saw the screen says I'm at hospital, so I'm sure what that was about. So I'm clear the jail and got back to Thanks.
Anyway, I was really complaining about Walmart. I don't know about other Walmarts or not. I know they pay terribly, unless you're in management, but I know they pay terribly, and they run you to the death. I used to work there, so I know. but you could find happy employees. I mean, that wasn't the deal. When you went back to service, it was always, I don't know how to explain it, but just always attitude. You just could never ask a question. Or nothing. I mean, it was terrible. But inflation's gotten so bad that I've been forced to go there. I can't find anybody cheaper. That's nearby, I should say. I could go to Peoria, to my car dealership, and get one for $5 cheaper or whatever, but by the time you get there you've paid more than that in gas. But so yesterday I had an amazing experience. I don't know what was up with the service department. They're awesome. They're actually asking me a lot of questions about my car. I guess my car is a Hyundai Veloster. There's a lot of people I see that I run into that tell me that they have never seen this type of car before. And it is quite funny because I don't ever see them on the streets either, but they're just a tiny little sports car. That's what I'm in right now. But and fast. They are very fast, but well, I'm not gonna say very fast. They would never beat a Mustang or anything like that, but yeah. So they were very cool, and I actually asked the lady about 4 or 5 questions before I went shopping, and before they started the oil change. And she was quite pleasant. She answered every one of my questions. And we talked about a few other things, and it's a very nice visit. Still, I would always recommend that if you can find your oil change cheaper, any type of service cheaper anywhere in your city, have it done there and not Walmart. But like I said, the other places for my type of car is upwards of $60, $70. I can't afford that. I know there's a lot of people that can't afford it. November 9, Romeo Mike Golf Lesson. What's today's news?
Sorry, I can't show the result to you while you're in the car.
Okay, how about I ask you and step out of the car? No, that's not an option, evidently. I can't do that. I should just spray the car down. I think I might. I'll skip it today.
Are on Native American lands. Wow. The Crow Nation's coal and resource assets are worth an estimated $27 billion, likely making making them the largest coal owners worldwide, according to the federal government. But last year, the Biden administration let the Department of Energy National Coal Council charter lapse, effectively ending the 40-year coal production advisory panel, which Stewart, who was a member of one of the tribes, served on. The administration also has pursued emission standards and restrictions targeting the coal industry, which tribes like the Crow Nation depend on. A war on coal is a war on Crow, Stewart added. Wow. And they go through just all the different tribes out there that want to develop. And says the DOJ, or excuse me, not the DOJ, the DOI, Department of Interior, is expected to finalize a 20-year ban on oil and gas leasing on Navajo land in northwestern Mexico. The Native American tribes have come out fiercely against the proposed rule. So there you go. Even, like I said, it's how time changes when it's in your best self-interest, right?
Well, sure. And, of course, the left isn't going to allow that to happen because you can't, coal generation is a thing of the past. And the federal government, I can't wait to see where this fight goes. Because if you're on the left, what do? What do you say? If you're in office or running for office, then how do you counter that? Well, we can't allow you to produce coal, produce oil, produce natural gas. We can't allow any of that. You'll kill the planet.
Sorry, we can't give you sovereignty on these issues,
right,
which are, by the way, critical to your survival.
Yeah, right.
And your future survival.
Right.
Meanwhile, California Governor Newsom allowed local refineries to produce their winter blend of gasoline a month early in a bid to reduce gas prices.
Oh.
By the way, don't they have to shut down?
Yeah.
Production in order to change that?
Yeah, I don't know the conversion time on going from summer to winter blends, but yeah.
The move repeats a similar effort by Jerry Brown 10 years ago and is an admission that the state's environmental regulations are partly to blame for the fact that California has higher gas prices than the rest of the country. The Associated Press notes that Newsom has been forced to compromise his own climate change goals while allowing refineries to produce the winter blend ahead of the usual November date.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
He also called for a 25% windfall profit tax on oil companies, which does what?
Raises the cost.
Raises the cost of gasoline. Like I said, everybody in California, every Democrat knows this is what's happening. They know why gasoline prices are so high. Democrats want high gasoline prices unless in the month running up to a midterm election, it might affect the results.
Right.
And not in their favor. I may ask this question for the rest of my life as this continues to until they change policy. Does anybody believe that the Democrats want lower energy prices? Does anybody believe, any Democrat believe, that the Democrats want lower gasoline prices, lower natural gas prices, lower fuel oil prices? Does anybody believe that? Does any Democrat specifically believe that? No. And if they say they do believe that Democrats want lower gasoline prices, they're either completely ignorant of Democrats' policies or they're lying, one or the other. And I tend to believe they're lying because of, their mindset of tribalism. We're going to defend what we believe, unless they believe and they buy into the fact that through ignorance, and that's why I threw ignorance in there, that you can actually run a society through solar and wind.
Right. Yeah.
But that would be based on
Still buying into the abstract. That one day. And it's, but this is the problem that we have, is that we still have enough people supporting these ludicrous policies.
And then you had, it's just every single day, it keeps piling on and on and on and on and on and on. And you're like, when will these idiots get it through their mind to reverse this? German federal economy minister. So that's what Germany federal economy minister, Robert Habeck, expressed concern over the looming energy crisis this winter, telling the German media that the situation was extremely tense and there is a possibility that Germany may run out of gas. That would be like Yellen here saying that.
Yeah, right.
It'd be like Janet Yellen here coming out and saying, and then the administration would be asked to comment on that, right?
Yeah. Imagine if they said that here in the States.
He spoke on Friday appealing to Germans to reduce their consumption of natural gas ahead of this winter, a day after the German government launched a new price break program to help Germans with the rising cost of energy. So what they're doing is they want to subsidize, natural gas. They're not making it cheaper for you. They're just spreading it out.
Right.
In a different tax.
Right.
Or borrowing the money from future generations. Mm-hmm. But they're not actually making the natural gas cheaper. But the funny thing is, if you do make it cheaper, even if you have to pay for it in the other end, and the public believes it, it means they'll use more and more likely run out. Oh, God, the idiots. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at their situation. I'm laughing at the idiots that, for some reason, I don't know how you can be in this day and age, but the idiots that are still completely ignorant on supply and demand.
Well, look, it's not going to affect the people that put the policy in place. In every society, it's going to affect who? The lower and middle class.
Out here, they're on the
The working class is going to have to pay the price for this. In this case, well, if you don't save now, there may not be enough then. It's the only way you can do this without doing a full reversal on the policy. Is to, next thing that will be outlawing, rationing, banning the use of natural gas except for in extreme conditions.
Odd even days for homes.
Yes.
You have electricity today, you can heat your home today,
right,
but not tomorrow.
That's right.
Imagine the number of people on the day they can use it, their house is up to 100 degrees.
But don't worry, because there's always tomorrow. Today, it's friction.
For people that don't, I keep forgetting, a lot of people are not as ancient as maybe I am. We had odd even days back in the 70s. If your license plate, I know I can't remember, it was whatever the first or last number was. They picked a number out of your license plate.
Right.
And if it was odd, you could fill up on that every other day. You couldn't fill up every day. every other day you could fill it. And that was to keep the gas lines from being too long after they put in price controls. After Nixon put in price controls.
Yeah, right.
The lines went great and they had to pull them. It's like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah. Yep. And that's exactly what would happen. That's where we're headed if you don't reverse the policy. Because if you don't have enough, there's only one choice. You have to outlaw, you have to ration the use. That's your only choice.
So the warnings are there. We've had the domestic warnings from Texas a couple of years ago, California this summer, and now you see Europe.
Yep. The UK has reversed the ban on fracking, but I don't know how. That may be too little, too late.
Like
We'll see.
for this winter, probably would be.
Yeah, likely.
866-90-RED-I.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
Okay, so all of this is Fox News. Not Fox News, it's Fox Radio. So you can't take everything they say seriously. Mainstream media is very bad, whether it's Republican side or whether it's Democrat side. As Beck always says, go with the source. Check the source out. This is going on in Germany, and the reason why that's very important is because that's what we're going to see here coming up. This is a world thing, and what people don't realize, this switch over to clean power and everything is there's lives going to be lost, and the government knows it, and it's just something that they're willing to do before. I mean, that's just something they're willing to do a switch to cleaner energy. As you know, gas prices are going way up. They are blaming it on several different things. First it became the war in Russia, then it became something else, and then it became something else, and now we're back to the war in Russia is why it's high. Listen, in what war did you ever see gas climb this high? Yes, I do believe that there is some cause because of the war, but I don't believe even for a minute that that's the cause for this much of a climb. They're doing this so that we will stop using. It'll just get so expensive that we can't run our heat as much as we used to, or it's the only way that they can stop us from using it, and not stopping completely, which I appreciate that. But the next step is coal power, which is what my town uses. My city, Pekin. I mean, what's going to happen when they decide to shut that down? The government has already shut down numerous coal plants, and now the cities that are ran off those coal plants are having issues because they're getting their power from another source. Well, so are all of these other people. So now they're having brownouts, they're having blackouts, they're having, look it up. It's stuff that's not even being mentioned on the news. I don't even think I've heard it mentioned on Fox News. But they are definitely starting this they're definitely starting this process. And what you need to do is look and see how these cities are faring with this. Just like England. Our dollar is terrible right now, but we have one of the best dollars still in the world. I know we complain about inflation and whatever, but we have one of the best in the world still. But last week, the pound almost crashed. They were able to stop it, and I wasn't able to look too much into it. I'm confused by what actually really happened, but I know it was very bad. They had a live newscast on it, and in the upper left-hand corner, there it was. I don't know, kind of like their stock market, or not kind of like, but it's like the stock market, where it's like real time what the dollar is worth. Well, the pound was in the upper left-hand corner, and it was going down cent by cent, and I don't know what they call it in England, but so that's terrible. But if you look up New World Order, now this is no news thing, this is stuff that has been mentioned by the government, but it's only been used or said a couple times. As soon as they said that, there's been a lot of people to hop on and try to figure out what this means. What it means is everybody in the world that is agreeing to this is going to be under one currency. It's going to be a digital currency. They are now trying to drown Bank of America, because Bank of America does not want in on this. And that was on the well, I'm not going to say Bank of America doesn't want in on it, but Bank of America and AOC got into it. The Bank of America CEO basically said, he didn't say he wasn't getting in on it, but AOC still tore him a new asshole. And I was just totally wrong. The CEO, whether he was lying or not, I mean, was not able to answer all the questions that she had. Just like Democrats, when you bring them in and you ask them a ton of questions, I'm gonna have to get that for you later, and that's okay. But as soon as Bank of America did that, she started laying it on them, and it was terrible. So now Bank of America came out and told what the plan is, and whether it's true or not, we just gotta wait and see. But evidently, the world currency, every currency in the world, is going to be coordinated at one time. And supposedly, Bank of America said in the middle of November, there will be a crash of every single currency in the world. Like I said, whether that's true or not, I don't know. Can it happen? More than 2 years ago, I would have said no, there is no way. But if you put two and two together, it all kind of makes sense. Right now, I've got my whole 401k into a low risk. It's called guaranteed low income. I couldn't tell you option, and I put everything in there only because it's not as volatile as the other markets are in the stock market, but I'm not sure what the stock markets will look like, but I can tell you mid-November, if this happens, we're going to see a lot of stuff go on. I'm not really even for sure what it means. What will happen if the dollar crashes? What will, I know basically it means that everything that you have in the bank will be null or zero. And why they have to make it crash is way beyond me. Why can't they come out and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to convert everything to digital, and the economy will do the same. The economy will adjust itself to whatever the currency does when you convert it to this digital. Instead of letting the dollar crash, letting tons of people, not tons, letting the world population go broke is way beyond me. And that's where I have problems with believing any of this, is where usually when I see something online or see something on the news, I usually try to think, okay, what's the motive of this? Why do it this way? And then if it logically makes sense, I believe it. If it doesn't make sense logically, then I just can't believe it. So it don't matter what news it is, I try to think that way. And like I say, I listen to Fox News, I watch Fox News. It's not the only news I watch or listen to, but it's a good starting point to start searching some of the stuff. And I'm going to tell you, there is a lot on Fox News that they don't tell you, and there's a lot on Fox News that they do tell you that is true. There's also false stuff. It all comes out being, who can we smear so that the other person can win the election. That's the way all the news is. The mainstream media. Like Beck says, you just have to go to the source. The source is the best deal. One more thing. And yes, I am Republican, but I'm not one of those, hey, if you're Democrat, that's fine. I would like to debate. But you know what? I will not call you names. I will not hate you. I will not look down on you in any way for being Democrat. I don't do that. This is America. This is what this is our beliefs, is right to think for yourself, freedom of speech, all that. So I do not treat somebody like they're a dumbass if they think that way. But anyway, so after saying all that, DeSantis came out and said that Hurricane Ian had nothing to do with climate change. He was given so much grief from the government that he doesn't believe in climate change. He was given so much grief on the Today Show by Miss Whoopi, who I used to really respect a lot. And like I said, hate, no, I don't hate her, but I have lost a lot of respect for she thinks she knows what she's talking about. I think a lot of stuff that she says is intentional. Just like the mainstream media. I think she actually knows that she's not telling the truth, and she comes out and just talks about politics. Anyway, so she gave DeSantis a very hard time on that. But, you know where he heard that from? And I can guarantee you, DeSantis being a Republican, he probably wouldn't have said, even if it had to do with climate change. But I don't know. I like DeSantis, and I would vote for him in a flash for president. But NOAA, he might have got his information from NOAA, and which is National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. Do I have that right? I don't even know if I have that right. So you might look that up. But they do the studies of weather. They do the studies of our Earth's climate. They do the studies on. They do a lot of that. And before that hurricane even hit, they being NOAA, said that this has nothing to do with climate change. There is no evidence that storms, hurricane storms, or anything like that is getting worse because of climate change. Some interesting, and I'm not sure I'm going to get the dates right, but some interesting information is between 2008 and 2014 was, I'm wanting to say it was more storms than the previous 10 years or something like that. And then after 2014, it dropped down. Even to now, there is no more storms than what occurred back in 2008, 2014. So to me, and if anybody's ever grown up looking at weather or whatever, there's strange weather patterns. This year being one of them for Illinois, I know. We've had some very strange weather. And every so many years, you get a weird weather pattern, whether it be El Nino or El Nina or whatever it is. Or the polar vortex or whatever. That comes in stages. It repeats. There is not any more storms. There's not any more severe storms than there was. There is nothing holding. There is no evidence showing that our weather is way worse than it was 20 years ago or 40 years ago. There, however, is evidence of the weather going through stages like I was just talking about, through certain patterns or whatever. So like this year, say Illinois usually has, I'm not sure what the average is, 80 tornadoes, let's say. Well, that might be average. There's going to be, it's probably more tornadoes than that. I can guarantee you that. But then say next year we have 250. And then the year after that, we might have 60. The year after that, we might have 120 or whatever. There's nothing showing that it's getting worse. On the flip side of the coin, NOAA did say that if it was a climate change issue, if the oceans are getting warmer, it actually would cause, at a certain point, it would cause hurricanes to not begin to develop. I don't know how that is, because I've grown up. I've grown up knowing that, hey, when hurricanes move into warmer waters, that's when they intensify, and that's when they, whatever. But I haven't read that report myself, so I couldn't tell you why or how that happens. I would imagine, like anything, like snow. People say, oh, it's way too cold to snow. I don't know if that's ever true or not, but I don't ever remember a snowstorm when it's like 20 below. I never remember that. And that's not wind chill, that's just regular. That's just regular temperature, 20 below. So I'm not sure if that's true or not. I know that there is a problem with the climate. I don't think it needs taken care of as fast as they say it needs taken care of. Right now, we're doing all this too fast. We are making Americans poor. We are... there's people losing houses. There's people losing... in fact, I bet you there is a lot more people on the streets now than there ever was. I mean, and it's just going to get worse. I mean, right now it's inflation is bad, but it's not. To me, it could always be worse. But there's people that were able to make a living, like single people, going to college and working at McDonald's or whatever. But now that's starting to get a little hard for college students. I think if we went at it really slowly, and they put the right processes into place, I think you would see a lot more people for it. The thing I think they're trying to avoid is Republicans coming into office after 4 years or after 8 years and getting rid of a lot of those changes. I think they are wanting to get as much done as they can, so it's harder to switch back or whatever. But I don't know. This is hard times, and I'm not going to lay this on. Well, I'm going to lay it more on Democrats, but, there's a lot of evidence I've seen myself, and a lot of evidence I've seen myself that a lot of this is true. So, well, everybody, Godspeed. Let's pray for one another. Let's all try to get along. It don't matter if we're Republican. It doesn't matter if we're Democrat. I'm not on here to bitch about Democrats. I'm not on here to bitch about the beliefs of people either. On another note, excuse me. On another note, a lot of us Republicans are called science deniers, but the science deal something I've noticed on the way left is that you are not you, but the Democrat politicians are only going by science where they want to. I'm not against gays, I'm not against trans, but that's another science thing. How am I looked down on for being a science denier when people that are born as boys or girls want to become the opposite sex? Is that not science? All this stuff that's going on, that's being a science denier. I'm sorry. I don't know. We live in tough times, people. All right, I love y'all. I'll probably be on tomorrow morning or this afternoon. If you want to get an alert when I'm on, I want you to subscribe, like, whatever.